This is the Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Future of Automotive on CBT News, where we put recent automotive and mobility news into the context of the broader themes impacting the industry. I'm Steve Greenfield from Automotive Ventures, and I'm really glad that you could join us this week. Well, I was invited to visit Doha, Qatar this week to kick off the Autonomous E-Mobility Forum with the keynote address for the conference. I'm trying to get out to a few international mobility-related conferences per year to both meet potential investors as well as early-stage companies for potential investment. As an example, I was over to Dubai last year to moderate the mobility stage at the GITEX conference, which is the largest technology conference in the world. And in 2 weeks from now, I'm over in Amsterdam to present at Autos Buzz, a large third-party automotive marketplace conference. Not surprisingly, Qatar proved to be both a fascinating country and really fun to visit. Oil reserves were first discovered here only 85 years ago, back in 1939. Prior to that, the primary industry was, believe it or not, diving for pearls. Extraction of oil was, however, delayed by World War II. Oil exports didn't begin until 1949, and oil revenues quickly became the country's main source of revenue. These revenues were used to fund the expansion and modernization of Qatar's infrastructure. So it struck me as very ironic that a hyper-wealthy country that is so dependent on the export of fossil fuels is at the same time so aggressively pursuing vehicle electrification and autonomy. It was exciting to see how Qatar has a very ambitious 2030 plan to drive both vehicle electrification and autonomy. Much of this momentum began as a result of the country's transformation in preparation for the 2022 FIFA Soccer World Cup. The Qatar 2030 National Plan has been launched to serve as a clear roadmap for Qatar's future. The Qatar National Vision 2030 aims to direct Qatar towards a balance between developmental needs and the protection of its natural environment, whether land, sea, or air. For example, they've already converted over 70% of their transportation buses to electric, with a goal to get to 100%. And their light rail system is already electric. In addition to a focus on the transition to electrification, the Qataris have also aggressive targets to transition to autonomous vehicles. The Autonomous E-Mobility Forum that I attended over here was designed to bring together an international network of senior officials, policy, and technology experts, including speakers and representatives from government, industry, academia, the media, and hundreds of attendees. It provided a timely platform for stakeholders to gather and develop know-how and recommendations towards the actual implementation of autonomous e-mobility in a real-world setting. In addition to their aggressive focus on making the transition to electrification and autonomy, Qatar is increasingly focused on investing in venture capital firms. Back in February of this year, the Qatar Investment Authority announced the launch of Qatar's first venture capital fund of funds, which is a strategic investment program to foster innovation within Qatar. The fund of funds program will invest more than $1 billion US in international and regional venture capital firms. The program will have two key objectives. It will generate market-level commercial returns in line with the investment authority's mandate to secure sustainable long-term returns to the people of Qatar, while at the same time, it will support the sustainable development of a vibrant VC and startup ecosystem in line with Qatar's national development strategy, which seeks to increase the number of startups and the availability of VC funding in the local market. The program aims to attract leading international VC funds and entrepreneurs both to Qatar and the wider Gulf Coast region, bringing deep VC and startup expertise and contributing to the growth of a local and regional base of venture capitalists and founders. So back to this week's conference, I was asked to both kick off the forum with a keynote presentation, during which I provided the audience with a framework to think about the future of mobility, as well as then moderate the final panel discussion of the conference to recap the conference for attendees. Overall, I was very impressed with the conference. I learned a lot, had a number of high quality meetings while I was over for the visit. It was my first time in Qatar, but I look forward to getting back for future conferences to see how the country's focus on both electrification and autonomy continues to aggressively expand. So, with that, let's transition to our companies to watch. Every week, we highlight interesting companies in the automotive technology space to keep an eye on. If you read my weekly Intel report, we showcase a company to watch and then take the opportunity here on this segment to share that company with you. Today, our new company to watch is called 18 Wheels. You really need to see the video of the solution to believe it. 18 Wheels offers technology changing the world of all-terrain vehicles. 18 Wheels offers a patented suspension system comprising 18 wheels, each with an electric motor and independently sprung. Environmentally friendly, the 18-wheel solution leaves no trace on the ground and effortlessly overcomes obstacles without causing any damage. Because the distribution of load and force is across 18 motors that are housed within independently suspended wheels, the unique suspension system doesn't damage the soil, and it's suitable for all soil types, temperatures, and seasons. If you'd like to learn more about 18 Wheels, you can check them out at www.18wheels.fi. So that's it for this week's Future of Automotive segment. If you're an auto tech entrepreneur working on a solution that helps car dealerships, we want to hear from you. We are actively investing out of our dealer fund. If you're interested in joining our investment club to make direct investments into auto tech and mobility startups, please join. There's no obligation to start seeing our deal flow, and we continue to have attractive investment deals available to our members. Don't forget to check out my book, The Future of Automotive Retail, which is available on Amazon.com, and keep an eye out for my new book, The Future of Mobility, which is almost done and will be out soon. Thanks as always for your ongoing support and for tuning into CBT News for this week's Future of Automotive segment, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.